13 signs you can't trust someone. If you are wondering whether you can trust someone you have met, keep watching this video to learn more about the signs of an untrustworthy person. Number 1. They tell a lot of little white lies. Some people have a habit of telling many little white lies. For example, you may know someone who can talk for half an hour about a birthday gift you know for sure they haven't used once. Or they could be praising your cooking when you yourself are aware that it is barely acceptable. If there are a lot of little lies, you can assume they can add up to big ones. You simply cannot trust someone while you know they are comfortable with lying. Even if they tell only simple little lies, it is not a good sign when it comes to their trustworthiness. Number 2. They are two-faced. You have surely met these people. They act one way when you are alone with them and completely different when you are not around. Two-faced people are usually very nice to you in direct communication. However, they have no problem criticizing you when you are not there. They won't hold back on sharing any juicy nuggets of gossip about you either. It is pretty obvious why this behavior signals that the person is not trustworthy. If you cannot rely on someone's behavior towards you, you cannot trust them in any other way as well. As soon as you realize they are behaving in this manner, it is for the best that you get away from them if you don't want to get hurt. Number 3. They break a lot of promises. One of the main traits of people you should not trust is that they break promises a lot. They don't keep their word. They may say they will do something, but they never actually do it. They also may say something will never happen again, but the fact is that nothing ever changes. You will easily recognize this trait because they rarely get anything done, no matter how much they reassure you that they will do it. You cannot rely on these people to do anything. Number 4. They have trouble empathizing. You may be surprised, but people who lack empathy are usually untrustworthy. Empathy is defined as an ability to understand other people's feelings and points of view. So, when someone isn't able to empathize and put themselves in another person's shoes, they most likely won't have a problem stabbing you in the back just to get ahead or get what they want. A lack of empathy is essential for someone to be able to deceive or hurt other people. A lack of empathy should certainly raise a red flag when it comes to a person's trustworthiness. Number 5. They have breached the confidentiality. This is one of the essentials when it comes to trustworthiness. It is very important that someone can keep your secrets. If a person is keen to share someone else's confidences with you, you can be sure of their untrustworthiness. Also, don't expect your own secrets would be treated with more respect. Be careful around people like this. Even if you consider them a friend and they swear to you they won't tell anyone else, you can't count on them not to betray your trust, because they've already done it with so many other people so many other times. Number 6. They are overly charming. You know those people who are simply too cute and charming towards other people? So much so that it seems very artificial and it is hard to believe they are as good as they try to look. You will easily recognize this behavior because it will immediately trigger your intuitive suspicions despite their friendliness. It is not expected that someone is that sweet and charming if you have just met them. Most people need some time to figure you out, and in the beginning, they might be slightly reserved. So, be aware if you come across someone who treats you as if you are their best friend, while you actually barely know them. Under that super nice exterior often lurks a traitor. Number 7. They constantly overstep your boundaries. Personal boundaries are the limits you decide work for you regarding how people can treat you, how they can behave around you, and what they can expect from you. Boundaries exist for a good reason. We all need our space, and we all need to feel safe. If someone is constantly overstepping those boundaries, despite your warnings, it is a bad sign. They may touch you in an overly familiar way when you have just met, and they may ignore it even when you freeze or pull away. They seem to enjoy making you uncomfortable. This is one of the worst things people can do if they do it intentionally and knowingly. It is a signal they couldn't care less for you and your feelings. Number 8. They are very controlling. One more troublesome tendency of the people you should not trust is that they are very controlling. This one is especially dangerous because controlling behavior often leads to abuse. Someone who feels the need to be in control will always want the upper hand, regardless of what you have to say. Do not trust the controlling person because they don't care about your well-being. They care more about being in control rather than listening to the concerns of the other person or doing what is right. Number 9. They are inconsistent. One more trait to have in mind is consistency, or better said, Inconsistency when it comes to people you shouldn't trust. Some people exhibit great inconsistency in their behavior. One day they are friendly toward everyone. The next they say that everyone is against them. Or perhaps you know someone who says one thing and does something completely opposite. You should be wary of those people. It is better not to put your trust in someone who is that inconsistent and whose behavior is so hard to predict. Number 10. They are selfish. You may have figured this one out by now. The people we are referring to in this video are usually selfish. This may escape your notice when you first meet them, but soon enough you will start seeing evidence that they care mostly, if not entirely, for themselves. They are so busy thinking about themselves that they fail to see how their words and actions affect the people around them. You can never trust them to have your back, because the only people they ever look out for are themselves. Number 11. They don't trust other people. The irony is that the person who is not to be trusted usually doesn't trust anyone else. The secret behind this trait is that these people think that everyone else is capable of the same things they themselves are. It makes sense that someone who has no problem breaking their word and destroying trust cannot imagine that other people could be honest. They look upon the world from their own perspective, and the unwritten rule is that the more suspect they are of everyone, the worse their own behavior is. They are capable of accusing innocent people of the same behaviors that they exhibit. So, if you ever come across anyone who is very suspicious of everyone, even of those who they don't know very well, you should be suspicious of their own character. Number 12. They have narcissistic traits. Narcissistic traits are quite common amongst those you should not trust. The narcissistic traits we are talking about are manipulative behavior, self-absorption, and taking pleasure from other people's suffering. It's no wonder why people with these traits are so untrustworthy. They take nobody's feelings into consideration. They are capable of lying and deceiving to great extent. It would be very hard, but also dangerous to rely on them. So it is better to be careful around these people if you don't want to get hurt. Number 13. They turn their back on you in front of others. You have surely met someone who seems like your best friend when you two are alone, and then, when you are among other people whom they're trying to impress, they act as if they barely know you. Obviously, these are not people you should rely on. This kind of behavior indicates that they're trying to get something from you. Their interest in you is just superficial. When they've gotten what they want, or it's clear to them that they're not going to succeed in getting it, they will forget all about you. Have you recognized an untrustworthy person in your life by these signs? Let us know in the comments section. We love reading your comments. Before you leave, our team will be very happy if you can give this video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.